after reading that, we were like, oh, okay, let's watch some Stephen King stuff, because we really wanted to try and pin down what made Stephen King, unique and why
film, yeah.
Because he has written so many books that have become movies. It's almost like its own genre in itself.
Yeah. Because Stephen King films aren't actually like, they're not conventionally scary either. They never play out like a conventionally scary horror film.
Psychological thrillers usually.
Yeah, but even then all of his stuff is so wacky.
Yeah. Does this look like dream to you, white man from town? You kill my daughter and you get off. For that you deserve to die, so I curse you.
Yeah, because the Dead Zone they made into a movie, which we did see.
Yeah. Christopher Walken.
Basically, the plot of Dead Zone is he goes into a coma. He's in a car accident. He's in a coma for 4 years. And then when he wakes up, when he touches someone, he knows everything about them, but he can also see the future.
Yeah.
So he touches this kid that he's tutoring, and he sees him playing hockey on the ice and falling into the ice and dying. So he's like, "You've got to cancel the hockey game." Yeah. And he's running around and he looks like fucked.
He's walking around with like a limp and his eyes are
he's
all
got
like
a little cane.
Phased out. And then he just breaks this guy's pot and goes,
The ice is gonna break!
He's so Christopher Walken-y in that movie
I know, he's
as well.
leading in that, and I don't think I've ever seen him lead in anything else.
Why do you think that Christopher Walken doesn't get cast in more leading man roles? Because he is a leading man, really, when you look at him.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone likes him, but I don't know if he can. I think everyone enjoys him turning up in Click.
Yeah,
but they wouldn't go see Click.
Christopher Walken makes Click. Stephen King's such an odd person as well. He's such a figure.
He took so much drugs. He took so much coke that he can't remember writing the book Cujo about this evil dog.
About an evil dog that went around killing people. And if that's not a testament of a great writer...
I also wanted to talk about the Netflix specials.
Netflix movies, yeah.
And those are Geralds Game and 1922.
Yeah, those are incredible. They are such gems on Netflix overall. I think they're one of the best films that Netflix has put. They're two of the best films Netflix has put out. I completely agree with 1922 especially. Yes.
It's amazing.
It's really, really great, yeah.
It's just it's set in 1922. And it's this guy on a farm, and it's basically like the way the ranch should be.
Yeah. What those two films really understand is how Stephen King uses symbolism in his stories, and they really adapted that to the screen in a great way, because in 1922 it's the rats. They're like a symbol of sort of corruption basically, and what corruption and evil and kind of
man,
and selfishness as well, and how that consumes you.
Because it's about a guy who does some questionable things for his own self.
Yeah.
We won't do spoilers, but he's basically being haunted by rats.
Yes.
So there's these disgusting rat images.
Man-eating rats.
Yeah. They are gross.
It's really visceral. It's really great. And then Gerald's Game as well really intelligently uses the symbol of the eclipse. Yeah. They're really interesting. I think they're one of the better. To me, they feel like they're really capturing the King energy, which a lot of film and media of King doesn't necessarily always feel like it does.
Yeah, there's been a few mess ups for sure. Stephen King did his own mini-series where he did adaptations his way.
Yeah.
And they suck. They all suck.
Isn't he in a load of them as well? Doesn't he pop up? Yeah,
because he's the guy overseeing the mini-series, so it's even more messed up. Gerald's Game is, it's very much a survivalist kind of thing. It's one person in one room, and it's very psychological.
Yeah, we can do the opening pitch to it, because it's a couple go on a holiday escape to have kinky sex, and the guy chains her to a bed, and he's like, "Oh, I want to do kinky sex stuff with you," and she's
That's exactly what he says.
That's line for line what actually plays out. He's like, "I want to do kinky sex stuff with you," and she's like, "No, I don't want to." And then
that's what she says.
Yeah, that's the line for line.
And she sounds like that too.
Guys, this is a really accurate representation of the film.
And she's played by Christopher Walken.
And he's played by Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and it's actually really good. Just before they're about to have kinky time, and he's all a bit disappointed, he has a heart attack. So then she's left isolated in this lovely villa holiday home, chained to her bed, and then from there it just becomes this really weird, interesting psychological delve into like her as a character, femininity, female sexuality. It covers so many interesting bases through in a really surreal way.
It's similar to the other movie we saw, which is based off Stephen King, 1402.
1402, yeah, which is really reminiscent
Which
as
is
well. Yeah.
really weirdly quite good in places and quite goofy in other places.
I love
the
how,
opening
like-
bit is really great. 'Cause
Yeah.
John Cusack, he writes about haunted places and he stays in haunted places and he writes about his experiences.
Yeah.
But he doesn't believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
So he's like this hack fraud writer. And they were like, "Oh, you could have been good, but you sold out.
You fucking dick.
So he gets his
That's what people say
postcard.
to us as well.
Yeah, they
actually.
do. They're like, "You could have been good, but you sold out. You made a podcast.
Everyone's got a podcast. What the fuck?
What the hell, guys? Can't you do something more unique?"
John Cusack's surprisingly good, but hammy in the right places as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's great exactly, but he's not.
He's
bad.
all right. He's
Yeah.
all right. No, he has his moments. He has his moments.
And then he gets this postcard that says "Don't go to 1402."
Who sent that?
The ghosts.
The ghosts. The ghost sent
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So then he goes to 1402 because he.
Yeah. And Samuel Jackson's waiting for
yeah.
him. So he investigates hotel room. Sam Jackson's there, has like a sick scene.
Where he's like,
Listen
everyone
here.
who's ever been here has died in it. They've killed themselves.
Listen, mate, don't do this. Please don't do this. And John Cusack's like, fuck you, ghosts don't exist.
don't care.
That's exactly what he says as well, word for word.
You, Sam Jackson. I'm gonna go in that room anyway.
Did you learn the script?
Yeah.
Whatever's in 1408 is nothing like that.
Then what is it?
It's an evil fucking room.
The thing that makes the film fun is once he's in that hotel room, it's just like how the haunting happens and how you get haunted in that room, because it's like hauntings are really abstract anyway, and I think it's really hard to make them feel juicy because
Yeah.
they're kind of, they are these abstract things. It's
Yeah.
about the unknown. So how do you make the unknown in film feel like rewarding
You've
to
got to make it
engage
as
with?
if they could kill you at any time, but they choose not to.
Yeah, and that's what this film does. And not only that, but they also make these hauntings tie into him as a character.
By the way, Mr. Enslin, your wife just called. She'll be here in 5 minutes and we'll send her straight up.
She's not involved.
And then lastly, we binged an entire season of 11/23/63, which is a Hulu.
It's a Hulu original.
Hulu.
Because there's these really popular Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
You got like The Shining,
Carrie.
Shawshank Redemption, Carrie. Like everyone knows about these.
Yeah.
But things like 1922, Gerald's Game, 1408, and
11/23. A lot of digits.
Lots of
a
digits.
lot of digits going on.
To stop naming your films and books after numbers, King. No one watches things which is just numbers. It never does
what were
well.
you supposed to think of 11/23/63?
Yeah, what is
well,
that?
if you were smart, you'd know that was the date that Kennedy was assassinated. This entire Hulu show stars James Franco.
Yeah, who's good?
He's really good in it, and it's him time traveling because he can time travel by going.
Because
through
it's
his-
King and he does lots
Yeah.
of coke. So
Yeah.
he's like, why don't they just time travel,
Why don't
man?
you just time travel? But the time travel logic's really great.
Yeah.
Because you go through this door, this diner door, and then you arrive in the 60s and you arrive in 1960. And then you just walk back the same direction to come back.
Yeah.
And all the changes you've made stay. But if you go back a second time, it reverts
Resets,
it.
yeah.
It resets it all. So he goes there and he lives for 3 years in the 60s.
Yeah.
Just building up to stopping Kennedy from being assassinated.
Who are you? Why were you in the VIP room? Why are you here?
Is he still here?
Who?
JFK. Jack.
First of all, I've never seen like a time travel show where a time traveler like goes somewhere and spends years in a new time.
Yeah.
Like already that's like something that's quite like something I've just not seen. Like, and I was like, that's so sick. That's so nice. In this show, Stephen King makes time like a character, and it's almost like the antagonist of the show who James Franco's character is like working against. So time is always trying to kill James Franco.
It's like Final Destination.
It's like Final
But it's only when he tries to change.
Tries to change.
If he
change
tries to
time.
like speak to his own like dad when
Yeah.
he's supposed to be a kid, what happens is this like car out of nowhere just comes out and just like destroys the phone box so he can't make the call.
Yeah.
And they always repeat the same thing every time he tries to mess with time. Something bad happens, and then anyone in that world, anyone in the 60s can just say, you're not supposed to be
Oh yeah,
here.
that's it as
Yeah.
well. It's like every now and again, characters can just sit, look at him and go, "You're not supposed to be here," and it's proper like disturbing because it's like time is communicating with him directly. We were so refreshed because at the moment there's some pretty good like TV shows happening, but it's hard at the moment to find like some really great impacting stuff that you can binge in one
Hulu
sitting.
as well.
And from Hulu, the unlikeliest of places.
Coming out with some fire. What's also great is the ending. The last episode is the ending.
Yeah.
There's no way there's going to be a second season.
That was because me and Sam keep bitching about so many shows now that just keep ending with like they do a season and the seasons end with these open endings.